What a great week. We are absolutely honored to be here. We did do something this week. On Monday, we announced the launch of OpenStack. And thank you. The good news is I still have a job. I'm actually quite happy about that. We did something that some would say, is quite bold and quite scary. We took what is our cloud software that powers our software. It's an object store that is scalable, as well as a compute provisioning system that is powering 100,000 customers, and we donated it to this new community called openstack.org. Why did we do this? I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about where we're headed and our philosophy around open source, and I want to call you to join us in this great cause. We think this is an important day for our company, an important day for the computing and developer community at large. First of all, this is a simple move for us. We're a simple company with a simple strategy, which is in our whole history, we have taken standards-based technologies, we have packaged them, we have put great service and experience around it. That's our strategy. It's very simple. We have never differentiated around protected intellectual property. We have taken standard technologies and made them great services. If you look at our history, the first wave of the cloud was really web hosting in our mind. And we took these technologies, these standard-based technologies, and we built the world's largest hosting company around it. These are technologies that anyone could deploy. Anyone could go get standard Intel-based servers and racks, take these technologies and turn them into services. And we were able to do something great by adding service to it. So 3 or 4 years ago, what started happening? Well, the way our business was run started to change, is that a new set of tools were needed. The ability to scale and provision computing suddenly had to be done via software. And there weren't tools out there to do it at the scale we needed and with the level of multi-tenancy we needed. So what did we do? We had to start building technology. We took a group of developers, we put them in a separate building, and we got to work. We went and acquired a couple companies, and we built a cloud that we're extremely proud of. It's the second largest cloud that exists out there, supporting around 100,000 customers today. And we're having great success. But as we started to sort of evolve this, it's been 3 or 4 years now, and we're continuing to build software, and we started to think, we're going to be building software for a long time. What is the best way to build software? And we kept coming back to these examples. And we truly believe that building in the open, in an open source model, is the best way to build software for the long run. It's the best way to sort of advance our business and to advance this community and advance this cause. So we committed to it. Now, this has been in the works for several months, and we went out to this community and said, how are we going to run this community the right way? How are we going to make it really something special, something that can really change the way computing is done? And we got a lot of great advice from our friends at WordPress and OpsCode and Canonical and all the real leaders out there in the open source world. And here's what we're committed to. One is we're going to do this in the open. We're going to design in the open. We had our first design conference last week in Austin, Texas. We're committing to a design conference every 6 months to coordinate the next release. This will all be done in the open. 2, we're going to develop it in the open. If you go to openstack.org, there'll be links to our Launchpad. All the code is there. All the development will be happening in the open. You'll be able to see it. 3rd, we're going to invest in a community. So, of course, we're committing developers to this. We're committing dozens and dozens of developers to it. But we're also going to commit resources to build a community, to build a robust community. And we're getting a lot of response already. There's already user group meetings set up on both coasts, so we couldn't be more thrilled. Finally, this is going to be true open source. We're using the Apache 2 license. We are not going to have a dual licensing model, and there's going to be fully functional code that anyone can use to go build a cloud on their own premise, or to build competing offers to ours. So this is how we're going to run the community. As we started to think about how we're going to get the community going, we went out and started to talk to people. Are there other technologies we can embrace? Are there partners and contributors we could bring on? And a couple months ago, we came across the folks at NASA. They had many of the same problems we had. The tools that they needed to run the computing jobs they had didn't exist. So they started building. And they were committed to the open model too. They didn't need proprietary software. And we went to them and said, hey, what about joining OpenStack? Could you contribute to OpenStack? And they did. And I want to call up Chris Kemp very quickly, who's the CTO of NASA. We're so happy to have them as main contributors to OpenStack and be charter members. Thanks, everyone.
When I got the call from Lew and the guys at OpenStack and Rackspace, we were delighted that the Nebula code and the Fabric controller was of interest to the folks that were working on the OpenStack community. And the thing that's really exciting for me is that all of you, by writing code and contributing code, open source code, you will be helping NASA explore the solar system. And open source has truly enabled that paradigm shift. Like Rackspace, we don't want to be in the software development business either. To the extent that we can use technologies that are open technologies off the shelf, that's tax dollars that get to spend settling the solar system and not writing code. So it's an honor to be here. Look forward to your contributions. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Chris. So if this succeeds, what does it mean to all of you, to the community at large? There's a couple of main things. One is computing is still a barrier in most companies and for most individuals. If you work at a Fortune 500 company today, it still takes weeks to provision a server. So whether you have a data center that looks like this or like this, the way you should be interacting with this infrastructure is with a click of a button or with a command line. This is going to unleash a wave of innovation. It already has started. This is what is so exciting about the cloud, is extremely easy access to computing resources. Secondly, we hope to build a vibrant business community around this. The opportunities to generate businesses and create financial models that create real profit for different businesses is extreme. We want this. If companies can get built around this OpenStack, it's going to pay for developers to continue to give back. So whether it's competing clouds to ours or tools that go around the OpenStack, we hope to see a lot of businesses thrive around this core. Finally, the shared model, the free model, helps bring costs down. And if costs come down, innovation is going to go up. So we think this is a huge component to this, is that if you have a really robust, reliable stack that is openly available, you're going to see a ton of innovation. So are we onto something? We don't know. We think this could be a really tremendous moment. We could not be more pleased with the response. This is a picture from our design summit that we had last week. These are over 100 people who started coding last week. We have support of a lot of corporations. There's a lot of people who have a lot to gain by having a standards-based cloud that exists out there. We have many more looking at it, so we're just getting going. We need your help. Go to Freenode. Here's the IRC room. Yesterday, there were 133 people in that room. We got our first bug 8 minutes after we launched the project. It was solved 20 minutes later. This community is starting to come alive, and we need you to participate with us. We're also hiring. We're going to have a jobs board on the OpenStack site. There's Rackspace is obviously hiring developers to sort of contribute to this, but there's already third parties who are hiring to contribute to this and start to build offers around it. We couldn't be more excited about it. So, first of all, we want to thank you. You've shown us the way. We have learned about open source over the last 10 years. We are now fully engaged in the open source world. We want your contributions. We want you to keep giving us feedback on how to embrace the open source model the best way possible to get the most out of it and to give back. And we're going to be back every year to talk about it. So thank you so much for having us. We really do appreciate it, and we're super excited about the future of the cloud with OpenStack.